This is what she texted her friend. Okay, I'm being serious. She said, quote, "The biggest serial killer has committed around 250 murders. I'm going to do more than that," end quote. Let's just get straight into it. We are going to Germany today. I'm not sure if we've covered a case there. 19-year-old Domina Cherry, whose real name is Sarah, was an only child born in Switzerland. When she was a kid, her parents made the move to Bavaria, Germany, where she had a pretty normal childhood. As a kid, normal, happy girl. She did well in school. She had a good friend group. She had a pet bunny that she loved and cared for. She had parents she loved and cared for, and vice versa. It wasn't until she became a teenager that things turned south and her behavior became less than ideal. Teenager Sarah had a strong attitude. She was very sassy. She would rebel for fun. She stopped listening to her parents basically altogether, breaking their rules, having parties, breaking curfew, ignoring their calls. She also started misbehaving at school. She didn't follow the dress code, and she started being so rude to the point that she was falling out with all of her friends because no one wanted to be her friend because she was just mean. Just not the type of girl that you would want to be friends with. Her look also started to change, which is completely normal for a teenager. She started wearing heavy makeup. She became obsessed with heavy metal music. Her style changed, but then when she turned 16, things started to get weird. Sarah started acting out for attention. She would make up rumors about herself that she was making a lot of money from basically selling herself to men. She started experimenting with substances, which quickly became an issue. At 16 years old, she got arrested for possession, which only led to her becoming more violent, more angry, and more disobedient. It became too much for her parents when one day her mother walked into her bedroom and she found a rope hanging from the ceiling. Her parents were so concerned about her well-being that they checked her into a psychiatric facility where she would remain for an extended stay. During her stay, Sarah actually tried to convince another patient to unalive themselves, which thankfully didn't happen, but that tells us a lot about who she is and where her headspace was at that point in time. At the hospital, Sarah was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. It was also said that she suffered from hallucinations, and doctors said that she had, quote, destructive tendencies. In 2019, when she was 17 years old, she was released from hospital. She was spending a lot of time by herself in her room, and this is when her obsession and fascination with serial killers grew. And we've talked about this plenty of times in my videos, but she wasn't obsessed with them in the way that she found it fascinating how sick and twisted and abnormal and horrible they are. She was obsessed with them in a way that she looked up to them. Ted Bundy, Richard Ramirez, Jack the Ripper, these were her role models. She looked up to them. She had respect for them. She wanted to be them. She had posters of these people in her room. Richard Ramirez was the lock screen on her phone, and Ted Bundy was the wallpaper. She read and learned about their crimes and romanticized them. Like, she literally would read the gruesome details and think, this is exactly what I want to do. At age 17 as well, Sarah got her first boyfriend, a guy named Leon. Leon and Sarah had a lot of similarities. They both struggled with their mental health. They both liked to use substances. They both had been in trouble with law enforcement before. It was something that they bonded over. They were young. They were in love. They were quite literally infatuated with one another, which was great. And these two started experimenting in the bedroom together. And Sarah started really liking, how do I word this? Violence when it came to the bedroom, which again, great, cool, to each their own, but then it became concerning quickly because she started demanding this behavior from Leon when they were doing the deed, but it got to a point where she really wanted Leon to hurt her. Like, the violence for her was just never enough. She always wanted to take it a step further, and obviously she would consent to this, she would demand this, but then she would have bruises and scratches and wounds all over her, and it started making Leon very uncomfortable because he was thinking, I love you, but you basically are asking me to torture you, and it became too much for him. Leon ended the relationship with Sarah after 2 years, and it left Sarah heartbroken. She did not handle the breakup very well at all. She was really sad, but it didn't take long for the sadness to turn into anger, and she became this really angry person who was really angry at Leon for ending things, and she almost wanted to seek revenge. She started spreading the nastiest rumors about Leon, destroying his character in the worst ways possible, and that anger and resentment that she had towards Leon quickly turned into anger and resentment towards all men. And that, mixed with her love and obsession with serial killers, well, it was really the perfect recipe for a catastrophe. April of 2021, the month that Sarah decided to turn her fantasies into her reality. First, she needed a weapon, but because she was not old enough at the time, she had one of her friends who was over 18 buy her a 12-inch camping sharp weapon for her, and she just told her friend that she needed it for camping, which, did she even camp? Next, she needed to research, and she had been researching serial killers for years, but now she went to the internet searching things such as, quote, how long does it take for someone to if you stab them in the neck? How long does it take for someone to die you stab them in the lung, and what is the best way to become a serial killer? And the thing about Sarah is that she didn't just want to become a serial killer, she wanted to become the best. So she researched who the person was that had the most victims, which is when she came across Harold Shipman, who was a British serial killer who had around 218 confirmed victims, which is when Sarah texted her friend and said, quote, the biggest serial killer has committed around 250 murders. I am going to do more than that, end quote. So Sarah has her weapon of choice. She has a goal in in mind of the amount of victims that she wishes to have, and now all she needs is her plan. So how in the world is Sarah going to find 250 victims? Dating apps. Sarah downloaded various dating apps such as Tinder, Badoo, Plenty of Fish, Sugar Daddy apps with the goal to lure men in. She created profiles using her own pictures of her, but she was using the name Domina Cherry. Over the course of the next 3 days, Sarah was contacted by 224 men, and keep in mind she has this goal in her mind of having 250 victims, and within only 3 days she had over 200 men reaching out to her to meet up with her, which is so scary to think that she had the resources, for a lack of a better word, to have as many victims as she wanted. She told her friend that her plan was to lure these men in, set up dates with each one of them, meet up with them, and then end their lives. Don't ask me why her friend didn't find this alarming or tried to get her help, because I have the same question. Regardless, all of these men were messaging Sarah these incredibly disturbing messages, as I'm sure you can imagine, and she was just going along with it, saying that she was interested in older men, that nothing was off the table when it came to the bedroom, because she wanted to meet up with these men. It was her primary goal. First, there was Sam. She set up a date to meet with him on March 3rd. Then there was Murad, who was a teacher, who asked to meet up with Sarah. She said they could meet up at her cabin in the woods, which didn't exist, and she tells him to bring a blindfold and handcuffs. They had plans to meet up May 4th. Then Anthony, who messages Sarah, he's basically on his hands and knees begging for Sarah to be in control of him. They agree to meet up on May 5th. On the 4th day of having these apps, Sarah's messaging with a man named Zayed, 39-year-old Zayed. We don't know that much about him, but we do know that he was one of 6 brothers who had moved to Germany from Iraq at the age of 32. Zayed messages Sarah May 1st at 10:53 a.m. They made plans to meet up that same night. Around 7:30 p.m., Sarah leaves a voicemail for her friend Francesca saying, quote, "I'm going out now. I'm going to kill my first. I'm excited. It's pouring rain out. Please wish me luck. It works." Right after that, she messaged the same friend and said, quote, "Going to go all natural born killer now. Wish me luck." And then she sent a video of her dancing with a weapon tucked into her waistband. Her friend did absolutely nothing. The only thing that she did was Google, "Are you punished if you know about attempted murder?" That's it. Zayed picked up Sarah around 8 p.m. at a bus stop before driving out to her remote cabin in the woods that her family owned, which, to remind you, that did not exist. Sarah told Zayed to turn down a quiet dirt road, and then she attacked him with her 12-inch sharp weapon directly to the neck. Zayed tried to fight back. He's holding on to his injury, which is profusely bleeding at a rapid pace. And then Sarah freaks out. She jumps out of the car and flees. Zayed is able to put enough pressure on his neck to stop the bleeding. He gets out of the car and stumbles onto the main road, where luckily there was a car, and the person in that car was a nurse. The ambulance was called, paramedics showed up and rushed Zayed to the hospital. Sarah, meanwhile, has fled on foot to the nearest town over, looking a state. I mean, she pretty much looked like she walked out of a scary movie. She was covered in blood and mud, no shoes on, ripped clothing, and as if it could get any worse than that, she's looking down, whispering to herself, "I am a murderer, I am a murderer." Someone sees her, they call the police, and within only 37 minutes of her attempted murder, Sarah was in police custody. Officers asked Sarah why she looked the way that she did, and she just told them, she said the truth. She told them that she just wanted to cut someone's neck and watch them without 1 ounce of remorse. After the attack, Zayed quickly fell into a coma, and sadly he never woke up from it. After 19 days, he passed away with his family, who loved and adored him, by his side. After Zayed's tragic death, Sarah's charges were upped from attempted murder to murder. She still showed no remorse. She actually stated that she was upset because she was caught too early and she didn't get to end the lives of 250 men that she planned to go after, but she said that she wasn't that upset that she got caught because she at least got to do it once and she got to experience it, and she said that she loved the thrill of it. In prison, Sarah was a menace. She tried to convince her mom to end the life of her ex-boyfriend Leon. Her mom said no. She asked prison staff if she could decorate herself with posters of Ted Bundy and Richard Ramirez, just mentally unwell, severely mentally unwell. Sarah's trial took place in May of 2022, and get this, because of her age, she was 18 years old at the time. She got no prison time. She was only sentenced to 12 years in a psychiatric facility and could be released by the time that she's 31 years old. She's in a hospital. She should be getting the help that she needs, but the idea of someone with her mindset walking around the streets does make me feel a little bit uneasy. I don't think that I could ever say that I would feel comfortable with a person like that just walking the streets. Like, what do you mean? Anyway, that is all I have for today's story. Let me know if you guys have heard about this before. You've probably seen her picture somewhere, but that is all from me today. I hope you guys are all having the best day. If not, go do something to make it the best day. Make somebody happy. Go do something that makes you happy. Thank you for spending time with me today. I love you very much, and I will see you in my next video. Massive kiss on the forehead to every single one of you.